All right. First one, two questions for you, man. Just wanted to know, in your opinion, a win over Terrence, does that make Errol Spence a no doubt Hall of Famer, man?
I don't know. I mean, Hall of Fame is what it is. I don't, I really don't too much care about the Hall of Fame.
Got it. Fair enough. Second question is a two-parter. You're growing your hair out, so we probably won't see the shag, but hopefully we will see them. So I, wanted to know, are we going to see a black uptowns on at the weigh-in? If not, people are going to be worried. And second part of my question is, obviously you're a guy that always wanted to like fight the best people out there. Even if you're on a layoff, always want to fight the best guys. We got a guy in Jaron Ennis right now who's killing everybody. Floyd is praising him, Roy Jones, everybody really. Like, would a part of you, and not looking past Terrence, but would a part of you be like, yo, this kid is good. I gotta fight this kid.
Yeah, nah, he's nice as hell, but I'm at the point of my career. The money right, I'll fight anybody, so I ain't tripping.
All right, appreciate you.
All right, thank you, Hans. Our next question is going to come from Abraham Gonzalez. Abraham, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hey, Errol, how's it going?
Good.
So my first question is, have we fixed the mouthpiece situation? Because I know that's been an issue the last two fights. Is the mouthpiece good for this fight?
Yeah, the mouthpiece is good. I got a new mouthpiece right now, so I got a couple new mouthpieces. So yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Errol came on here and he said that he needed you. He needed this fight. You are pretty much the ultimate dance partner. Before the fight got made, you were always just on some, look, I don't need him. I don't need this fight. I guess frustrated or whatever. But now that the fight is here, can you look back and say, nah, I was wrong. I really did need Errol. I did need this fight. This is the biggest fight in like the past 30 years or something like that.
Well, I wouldn't say Errol is my biggest dance partner, like he said, yes. So being the magnitude of this fight, the stage of this fight, the level, everything, yes, I need it. Everything that's surrounding this fight and that's on the line with this one fight, yes, I needed Errol. But far as career-wise, legacy-wise, I didn't need Errol because I already accomplished so much in the sport of boxing that I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame and ride in the sunset and be comfortable with what I've accomplished in the sport of boxing, because there's nothing that I haven't accomplished in the sport of boxing that would hinder me from saying, oh man, dang, I wish I would have did this, or I wish I would have did that. I already became undisputed. I already won ESPY award. I already was fighter of the year. I was already multiple world champions in different weight classes. I was already two-time linear fighter in two different weight classes. So, this is, like I said, this is just a cherry on top of my ice cream.
Gotcha. And my next question for you is, you're the type of guy that, when you're at 35, 40, and now 47, you were always either looking at who's the top guy here that I haven't fought yet, or who's like a guy that's like under me or making his way up, like, damn, this dude could fight. So we got Jaron Ennis, man. And I know you're focused on Errol Spence, but it's like every time Jaron fights, this dude is just whooping everybody, and Floyd has praised him. Leonard Ellerby has praised him. Roy Jones has praised him. You're focused completely on Errol. But do you look at Jaron and say, look, man, I gotta fight this dude. He fighting his ass off. Everybody praising him. That's a dude I need to fight maybe after the rematch.
I always said Boots was a great talent. I always told everybody that I supported them, I've been supporting them since he was in the amateurs when he was fighting Gary Russell. You know, I always supported him because they always said he remind them so much of me. But seeing him, you know, I kind of see myself in him. And yes, he deserved a title shot. He deserved it all, you know, but, you know, his time will come. But right now, you know, business is business.
Would you feel if this fight doesn't go your way, I mean, would you still feel like you were the best welterweight of your era without a win? Do you need this win, you know, as much as all the things you've accomplished in your career, do you need this win to feel like you were the best welterweight of your era? And does that matter to you at all?
Of course. It's always about the win. It's always about beating the top guys in the division. I can't say I'm the best guy in my era when there's still one guy at Mount Rushmore sitting beside me. I got to be up there by myself. So, of course, this fight matters. Of course, I need to win this fight. If not, then, you know, we got to go back to the drawing boards and, you know, come back stronger.
How concerned are you about the size difference? You know, I've got one more question after this, but, you know, the size difference, there's going to be a lot of conversation about how big Errol usually is, the fact he can still make 147. You were undisputed at 140. How have you kind of managed that, prepared for what that difference might look like on fight night?
I don't worry about it. Listen, when you talk about size, you talk about Jeff Horn. They said Jeff Horn was one of the biggest welterweights other than Spence. When you talk about size, you talk about Sean Porter. You know, me and Sean Porter was in the amateurs together. I was at 132, he was at 165. You know, Benavidez, he was a big welterweight. I don't know, like, I'm always fighting big welterweights, so that's nothing new. I'm always the smaller guy. Even when I was at 140, I was a smaller guy. You know, 35, I was tall, but I was the smaller guy. So being a smaller guy, you know, never made me think, oh man, this guy is too big or no. It's cool. The bigger they is, the harder they fall.
Right. And last one for me, you know, Errol talked about, you know, the amount of belts and how there are too many belts, and it's something that we're looking at as well. You know, he said that he made an interesting point that there's a responsibility upon fighters to kind of help limit maybe the amount of belts and maybe reduce the amount of titles. What can fighters do, fighters who are at the peak of the sport like y'all, do to help maybe kind of streamline some of these belts and eliminate some of these, you know, secondary and tertiary belts?
I don't know. It's kind of hard because you got to understand, when you coming up, everybody want to be a world champion. Everybody want to be a world champion. So a lot of people get it confused when they see all these fighters with belts and these fighters saying, oh, I'm a world champion or I'm a champion and this and that, and I got the WBC diamond or the interim this or the interim that. And it's like, okay, but what about this guy? Or what about this guy? He got a belt or he got a belt, you know, but it's kind of not like it's their fault, because you got the champion may be hurt, and they want to get a shot at a title, and the champion might be hurt, and they may say, okay, well, you can fight for this interim title, but when the champion back, then you get a shot. Then when the champion come back, then he get to do other things. It's up to the sanction bodies to, you know, have a model to where this guy got to fight this guy no matter what. Coming back, no money or nothing, or he got to drop the belt, or he got to fight his mandatory no matter what, or he got to drop the belt. Because if you notice, a lot of people, they be mandatory and they don't ever really get their shot because you get to do other things. You know, when you got Jamar Charlo, he's still a champion. He ain't fought in over, what, 2 years? You know, stuff like that, like hogging up the belt. But you got Canelo, he going up and down weights, you know, and there's people at 168 want to fight for titles. So I think it needs to be more structure with these sanction bodies to where other people can get opportunities to fight for these titles, because that's what it's all about. Or they need to cancel all of them and just make it one champion and one division, kind of like the UFC.